get many people involved in the deal. So, for example, you're buying from a family and you're dealing with only one person. You already know that you're heading for disaster, because after you pay, maybe he goes and doesn't share the money properly with the rest of the family. They'll come back and tell you they did not receive any payment, and there's nothing you can do about it. They won't let you use the property you buy. And then, trust me, when it comes to land or anything real estate, court is the last thing you want to do. Hi guys, my name is Jeremiah Makri, and today we're going to be talking about how to avoid real estate scam in the city of Port Harcourt. So I'm going to be giving you 4 tips, and if you wait till the end of the video, I'll give you a bonus 3. So first of all, what you want to do is do a background search. Do a background check on the company, you do a background check on the individual if you're buying from an individual. If you're buying from a company, you need to check if that company is registered. So if the company is not registered, that's a red flag, because if it's not registered, then it's not a company. You need to make sure they have an RC number, because if you're dealing with business, if you're dealing with real estate and you're dealing with a company, you need a company that is registered as a limited liability company. If you see companies that their company registration number starts with BC, so that's just business name, it just costs 20k to do that, and doesn't really give you the kind of reputation you're looking for when you're looking to invest in real estate. So if you're looking to buy from a company, you need to check if that company is registered. They should have an RC number from the CAC. Then if you're buying from an individual, you need to check if that individual is who he says he is. The person, the name on the document. The person needs to give you some sort of identification. If it's his NIN or international passport or something, it should give you a means of identification. So that's one way of checking. And another thing you should do when buying a property is do a title search. So if you're buying a piece of land from a company and they tell you they own the property, so what you do is you can go to the Ministry of Land and Housing and you'll be able to run a title search on that plot of land. So it's called chatting. So you go there and then you chat the property. So when you do that, you see the name of the owner of that property, and you'll be able to know if that property is free or under government interest as well. So that's number 2. So number 3, I recommend you talk to a real estate consultant. So I understand in this economy you want to cut costs and you want to do everything yourself, but it might hurt you because you might not know where to look, you might not know the buttons to push to find if what you're buying is legit and reliable. So, and the 4th one is you need to get proper documentation. It's amazing in this day and age where you see people buy properties and they don't have any document to show for the property they are buying. It makes absolutely no sense. If you're buying a property, immediately you need to get a receipt with the person you're buying from, with the buyer and the seller, with the property stated in the receipts there, the property in question. So for some companies, if you're buying from a company, you might not get your deed of assignment because it takes some time to prepare it. So you must get a deed. You might not get it immediately, but the company should tell you when you get it. It shouldn't be more than a month, depending on the volume the company does. Technically, you should get it within a month. So what you need, the most important ones are deed, a survey plan, a registered survey plan, and either deed of assignment or deed of conveyance. So deed of assignment, a registered survey plan, and the title of document, the title of the land, be it C of O, Gazette, Governor's consent. That may vary, but the ones you must get, whether you're buying a property that has a C of O or not, the one you must get is a deed of conveyance or a deed of assignment, receipt, and a registered survey plan. So if you made it to this point in the video, then you qualify to get my bonus. Before I give you the bonus, you can go on and hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification icon so you get notified whenever I post real estate content. So bonus tip number 1 is, when you're buying from an individual, you need to get many people involved in the deal. So for example, you're buying from a family and you're dealing with only one person. You already know that you're heading for disaster, because after you pay, maybe he goes and doesn't share the money properly with the rest of the family. They'll come back and tell you they did not receive any payment, and there's nothing you can do about it. They won't let you use the property you buy. And then, trust me, when it comes to land or anything real estate, court is the last thing you want to do. Whatever issues you have, your goal is to settle it out of court, because it makes no sense to me that you buy a property of 20 million and you go to court and spend the next 5 years in court before you're even, that is if you win, before you're even allowed to use the property. It makes no sense to me. So to avoid it, make sure that if you're buying from a large family, you get more than one person involved. The chief has to be aware, some members, at least like 5 to 6 people, and they should all sign that they are involved. You get their means of identification as well. There are ways to do things that, mitigate and reduce the level of risk involved in buying real estate. Then the second tip is, when you're buying from a company, watch closely their allocation process. Most companies do instant provisional allocation, and then they pick a day and go and do the on-site allocation. So you need to be present, even if you're not in the city. If you have a real estate consultant, the person needs to go on your behalf. If you have a family member in that city, the person needs to go on your behalf. You need to check your plot number, the one they allocate to you after you paid, the one on the deed, the one on your receipt. All, like, the plot numbers have to tally. And then when you go for physical allocation, you need to make sure that the plot you're standing on is that same plot number. And you can take the registered survey that the company gives you. You can get a land surveyor and take the person there. The person will verify that this is indeed the plot that they gave you. So that way you are able to check, so that the company doesn't sell one plot to several individuals. And then the last thing you need to do is fence immediately. Any property you buy, land, just fence it. It doesn't cost that much to do fencing, but just, even if it's a dwarf fence or short fence, whatever, just make sure that you set up some sort of barrier, in the property you buy. It gives it an added level of security, So in case people are starting to develop in the area and you're not ready to develop yet, people can be very funny at times. They would get to the edge of their plot and then just look at your own and smile and like, let me just cut small of your own cake. And then just like that, by the time everybody cuts, you're losing 60 square meters on all sides of your plot. That's a lot. And then when it's time for you to come, even when you realize that they've encroached and you guys are trying to settle it, the money they will pay you is less to nothing. That you might use that space for something else. You might use that space to develop. So yeah, fence immediately, watch the allocation process, get as many people involved in the deal. Don't run it alone, even you yourself. Make sure you involve a lawyer, a real estate consultant. I'm stressing this because a lot of people think they can skip that and do everything themselves. You might just be shooting yourself in the foot. So thanks for today. These are the tips you need to know to avoid being scammed in Port Harcourt City. Till next time. Peace.